Okay, so today we're going to be making this fun little 9-patch pumpkin. So to do this, you're going to need 5 different squares of fabric, and I like to go with the scrappy look, so I kind of choose a variety of fabric. So I have 5 3.5-inch squares. And then you will need 2 squares that are 4 inches, that are orange, and then 2 squares that are 4 inch that are white. And these are to make our half square triangles for the corner pieces. So let's just get started making those. We're going to take our white pieces of fabric, and I'm going to just grab a piece of paper here. I'm going to grab my ruler, and I'm going to line up this 1/4 inch marking, this one on the very edge, from corner to corner on this white piece of fabric. So if I just line that up like that, I'm going to draw a line along the edge of the ruler. That's going to give me the line that I sew on. So then I'll just flip the fabric around and do that again. So these 2 lines are the lines we're going to sew on. I'll just repeat that with this other piece of fabric. Okay, so we have our squares ready here. So we have our 2 4-inch squares that are orange. We're going to place the white on top of them. Now you want to have right sides together. A lot of times white fabric is interchangeable, but you do want to make sure the orange is going to be facing up. So we'll just go over to the sewing machine and sew along these lines that we've drawn. We're just going to take a ruler and we will place it from diagonal to diagonal between those 2 lines we just sewed, and then we will just slice it in half, and that will give us our half square triangles. So let's just do that on the other one as well. Okay, now before we open them up, we just want to trim them to the right size. Now these need to be 3.5 inches when they're done so that they will be the same size as our squares. So I just have this ruler. I really like this half square triangle ruler. Just line up the seam along the 3.5-inch marking on here, and then it's just a matter of simply slicing away any extra, and then you'll have a perfect square. Once we press it open, it will be a perfect 3.5-inch square. So we'll just go ahead and trim the rest of these. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we'll just grab our pieces and our ironing mat, and we're going to press them open. The last thing we're going to do is we're just going to trim these little tails off. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is just lay out our block. So I'm just going to lay them out in kind of a random pattern, and we'll kind of see, I don't want to put this corner by this one since it's the same fabric, so I'll just kind of rotate things around. And I do want it to be super scrappy, so I've made some other blocks, half square triangles beforehand, so I can use some of those as well. So I think that looks good. So the next thing we're going to do is we're just going to sew the lines together. At this point, it's just like a regular 9-patch. It's super simple to put together. So we'll just take this top row and sew all the pieces together, making sure everything is right sides together. And then we'll come back and sew the middle row and then the bottom row. Okay, so there we have all our strips, our rows of fabric. We're just going to bring over our little ironing mat, and we're going to press these. So in order to have the seams nest, I'm going to press the top and the bottom rows towards the middle. So we'll just do this. So you can see the seams are sewn towards the middle. So we'll do that the same thing on the bottom. And then on the middle row, we will press the seams towards the outer edges, and that will allow our seams to nest nicely. So all that we have left to do is to sew the block together. So we'll just take it over the sewing machine, make sure right sides are together, and sew them together. So we have our block all sewn together, and we will just give it a quick press, and then we will be done. All right, I hope you enjoyed making this fun Scrappy 9-patch pumpkin quilt block. If you like fall blocks, I also have the tutorial for this striped pumpkin quilt block. And coming soon, I will be doing an acorn as well as a maple leaf. So stay tuned for those.